Sometime between 563 BC and 483 BC in northern India, there was a kingdom and there was a king and a queen who lived there. One night the queen had a dream about a beautiful white elephant entering her womb. Later on this was discovered to be a sign of Buddha. When it was time to give birth, the queen went to her garden and had a painless delivery. When the baby was born, he immediately began to walk, leaving lotus flowers everywhere he stepped. 5 days later, he was named Siddhartha. My friend came down and gave a proclamation saying that Siddhartha would either become a great king or a great savior. The king wanted his son to become a great king instead of a religious leader, so he kept him locked in the kingdom and surrounded him with luxuries. At the age of 16, Siddhartha was given a beautiful wife, whom he later had a child with. Despite the king's efforts, Siddhartha insisted that he be let outside. During his journey, he was first exposed to a dead man, a sick man, and a man begging. Prior to his journey, he had no idea that old age, disease, or death existed. Although he was exposed to all this suffering, he saw a calm, peaceful man who later on became the reason why he left his wife and son to go live a religious life.
He decided to leave the palace in an attempt to understand why the beggar had nothing yet still be so happy. He went to study with a group of Brahmins for a while, but he wasn't satisfied with what he was learning from. He eventually found 2 ascetics who taught him how to get to a deeper state of meditation while fasting. Unfortunately, the idea of fasting was not very appealing to Siddhartha, and it began to take a toll on his body. He left the 2 ascetics and wandered to a deer park and sat underneath a tree now known as the sacred Bodhi tree. He sat under the tree for about 6 days, meditating, but focusing mainly on birth and death. Finally, he reached nirvana and became what is known as Buddha, the enlightened one. When he reached enlightenment, he was able to understand the 4 noble truths. There is suffering in everyday life. The cause of suffering is the desire for luxuries. In order to be free from suffering, you must not desire luxuries. To continue to be free from suffering, you must follow the Eightfold Path. He decided to go on and teach other people how to receive nirvana instead of telling them the answers right away.
When Buddha was in his 80s, he was invited over to his friend's house for dinner. His friend prepared mushrooms for him as those were his favorite food, however they didn't realize that the mushrooms were poisonous. He died peacefully and his last words were work hard and gain salvation.